There's emotional resilience and emotional control require being able to regulate arousal and the stress response. This ability is also important in athletic performance. What do we mean about the stress response? Well, in the middle part of the brain, in the primitive area where everything happens automatically, is a little structure called the amygdala. It's about the size, a walnut sized structure that's critical for the fight or flight response. So it's a little part of the brain that gets us amped up. The prefrontal cortex and the anterior cingulate cortex is the part of the brain that's more thinking things through, looking ahead. So when we're stressed, the amygdala has excitatory neural pathways that gets us all amped up. Anytime that we perceive a threat, it fires off. It can tend to overwhelm the logic part of the brain and leads us to have less control over our emotions and actions. It is the part of the brain that makes me want to punch somebody in the nose when they are disagreeable. The prefrontal cortex is more of the logic center of our brains. It is the part that thinks things through. The pathways that radiate out from this area of the brain are inhibitory. When this area is active, it's usually associated with a feeling of well-being and relaxation. It's the part of the brain that says punching somebody in the nose is probably not a good idea. Well, paced breathing activates this area, which signals the neighborhood of the amygdala to downregulate. It also influences brainwave patterns throughout the brain. Studies show that breathing exercises such as paced breathing can promote alpha and theta waves, which are associated with relaxation. So we're going to use this hardwired reflex to get the brain to be more like the one on the left instead of the one on the right. So if I say to take a deep breath and your chest expands and your shoulders rise, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for a diaphragmatic breath. So when you breathe with your diaphragm, when you inhale, your tummy will pooch out, and when you exhale, it'll go back to normal. The second quality that it has to have is we want to take about 5 times as long to exhale as to inhale, stretching out that exhalation. If we do this, it will tend to slow the respiration down to about 5 cycles per minute or less. So altogether, we might call it 2-10 breathing. So it's about a 2 count in and about a 10 count out. 2 plus 10 is 12, times 5 is 60, so that gets us to our 5 cycles per minute or less. Well, if you breathe in this fashion, it will sort of work in any situation where you want to smooth out a spike of anxiety. But it will work many times better if you practice. So each time that you practice, you are teaching yourself how to access that neural pathway. It won't take 10 minutes to chill, but maybe just a breath or two. So try to schedule about 10 minutes each day, and you'll find over time that it gets easier and easier and easier and easier to evoke this reflex. There's a lot of variations of paced breathing, but this particular one I think has some solid research behind it. So practice paced breathing, chill out the next time you have a spike, and have a great rest of the day.